Well, hi everyone, and thanks for joining us on this podcast. Today we are really lucky to have with us Bryon Jackson, who is the Assistant Vice President of Unified Technology Support and Innovation in the Division of ITS. So Bryon, welcome, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Yeah. So can you tell us about all the great things, the resources, the technology, the planning that Campus IT has got in place for students in this new era?
Oh, yes, absolutely. So a lot of work has gone into working to provide students more resources and services for fall semester. As we shifted very quickly last semester to a Safer at Home program, we were really challenged at providing those services in a different mode. Students are so used to being on campus where they have access to computer labs and access to campus Wi-Fi and have access to, computing devices. So we were really reactionary to the current situation. And with the summer, we've had a lot of opportunity to plan. And so some of the things that we're putting in for fall semester are, we have a laptop loaner program, laptop hotspot loaner program for students in need, which we know that there are a considerable amount of students that actually are without these devices, which are essential to learning. So through our partners in Division of Student Affairs, we hope to get thousands of laptops and internet hotspots to students in need. For other students who have a need to come on campus, we will have students on campus. We're working to build a student hub in our University Student Union where there will be an open access lab. So there are resources, safe resources to computing devices on campus. We're working to build more outdoor Wi-Fi hotspots so students who come can safely sit outside and be socially distant from other students and staff and still access the internet and those resources. So that's in work. And then for students who aren't coming into campus, we're really working hard right now to provide greater access to the computer labs virtually. So we have a student virtual lab program. We're working to expand that. Plus, we're working with college technicians on their specific labs to provide remote access to those specialized software that aren't available in the student virtual lab. So that's just a taste of some of the things that we're really doing to provide students with access and technology that they need to be successful for fall semester and really beyond. The investments we're making aren't going to be one time. Outside of the loaner program, these are real investments for the future. So fall, spring, and beyond.
Yeah, I think it's amazing to hear of all the thought and effort and time that's gone into it, and of course money. And I know that you have, we've all been the recipients, the very thankful recipients of CARES money from the federal government, and I know that you've used a lot of that in this. So thanks for using it so effectively. I think a lot of this new infrastructure that you talked about is probably going to stay after the COVID-19 pandemic goes away, whenever that happens. Do you think that that's true? There's sort of the increased structure of IT on the campus because of this crisis?
Absolutely. I think every purchase we make are thoughtful purchases. We're not just looking at one semester at a time. For the loaner programs, we have funding for a year. So I think with the hotspots and the laptops, we're looking at a 1-year time frame. But all other services we're looking at, we really have an eye towards the future. We really went from a university that provided mostly in-person instruction, and now we're offering those technology infrastructures to do more online, hybrid, and pure online courses for the future. So all of these investments we have are thoughtful purchases that are really essentially evergreen purchases that will last for year and beyond.
Yeah, I love the name of evergreen purchases. So that's nice to know. Always like learning new things from you, Bryon, which I always do. I know that, one of the things that is sometimes a worry for people like me who are a bit naive about, technology, is there something I or the students need to watch out for, with say identity theft or email hacking or, all those horrible things? What would you tell us?
Absolutely. We're seeing it a lot more, especially towards the end of last semester. We have a lot of fake job scams which really prey on students who are looking for that summer work, especially right now when jobs are hard to come by. So for my recommendation for students and employees, and even everyone in their personal lives, is to watch out for those scams. When you get an email that looks too good to be true, it generally is. And one thing that we've implemented for employees and now the students, now that we've migrated the student email system with the employee system, which is something we also did in preparation for fall semester. All employees and students will now see a little marker on their email. If it's coming from an external sender, it'll say, caution, this comes from an external source. The reason for that is a lot of times we have scammers impersonate or masquerade as someone as yourself. And we often get these emails that say, hey, can you do me a quick favor? And it's really not, Provost Jersky, it's someone else. And so that message will have a little indicator on it that says this is from an external sender.
Yeah.
That isn't true if it's from a compromised account. So my advice to students is if you see a job offer or an email from another student account and you want to question the legitimacy of it, please forward it to alert@csulb.edu and we'll validate it for you. We reply to every message that comes through asking for validation.
Oh, terrific. So that I could use that too. So alert,
Absolutely.
ALERT @csulb.edu.
That's correct.
Yes, because it's funny. Last week I got an email allegedly from Jane.
Yeah.
And it didn't sound like the kind of thing that the president usually asks me for. So I sent it straight to Min, and he said, they took care of it. So that's great.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it sounds like there really are great things that instructional technology, IT does for students. What other kinds of work do you do that you're proud of, sort of in the background, that supports education at the beach?
Sure. So the Division of IT, we are essentially the backbone of all technology on campus. We provide the Wi-Fi internet, the wired internet. We provide the campus single sign-on solution. So when students first come to campus and they go to sso.csulb.edu, we provide that environment. So much of the effort we put in, whether it be visible to the student or not, the services that run on campus, the technical services actually run on our backbone. So, and then in addition to that, we provide the first level of support to students, so the technology help desk. So whether you're opening an IT help ticket or emailing helpdesk@csulb.edu or calling 562-985-4959, we provide a myriad of support services to students in need.
Great. And something that I was just thinking of, if lots of our students are technologically savvy, and some of them might even be looking for jobs. Do you ever have jobs available for students or work available for students in your division?
We absolutely do. We often look for students that are in IT and also students who aren't in IT. Especially for our technology help desk, we like to hire a range of student assistants. It's great to have different perspectives because it brings a broader approach to support and customer service. So absolutely, my recommendation would be to go to the job fairs and work through our career development centers. We do hire the student assistants, and we have federal work study as well. So we're always looking to hire good students.
Terrific. Okay. Well, I would definitely not fall into the technologically savvy. I would give you the wide range of abilities, but I have a full-time job, luckily. So we've sort of briefly touched on the great things that you've done for the fall. We've touched on the fact that you have opportunities for students. I think people know a little bit more about IT. Tell us a little bit about yourself. I mean, how did you get into this position?
Great question. So I'm a Cal State Long Beach for life, essentially. I started off as a student, undergrad.
The beach.
Yeah. I born and raised in Long Beach. I went to Cal State Long Beach for my undergrad and ultimately became a student assistant on campus working in our telecommunications department. After undergrad, I worked a little bit more on campus, and then I went back and received my MBA. I became a staff member too around the same time, and worked through, got my master's of business, and became a manager around 2007. And I've been on campus essentially since '94, and I've been an employee since '99. And there's no place I'd rather be. It's just a wonderful place to work. We have just amazing students and faculty and staff and administrators. It's really a pleasure every day I actually get to come into campus. So I really, really enjoy it there.
I know. I must say I miss the campus terribly, and just today, as it happened this morning, I had to go in for a reason, and it was so lovely to see the campus, although also somewhat sad to see how empty it is. And
Yeah.
nonetheless, we are really looking forward to all the students coming for the new semester. And if you're just starting at the beach, welcome. And if you're coming back, welcome back. From your point of view, Bryon, do you have any ideas of what students can do to better prepare for this upcoming year?
Yes, absolutely.
Year? Okay.
Yeah, the biggest advice I'd give is, I briefly mentioned it, but we had a very major project this summer to merge what were two separate email systems. We had an employee email system using Microsoft Office 365 and a student system also using Microsoft Office 365. We had a project to merge them together, and the reason for that is it opens up a lot more collaboration opportunities between faculty and their students. The Microsoft Office suite has a wealth of tools in it, from not just email, but SharePoint and Teams and, online meetings, so there's a lot of tools that we can give not only students to work with other students, but faculty to work with students. So that was a major project that took place over the 4th of July weekend. And one of the things that we sent a communication out to students in advance was, if you've connected your mobile device, if you've connected an Outlook client, please make sure to disconnect them and reconnect them when it's done. So my advice to students is to heed that advice and just take some extra time, make sure your email's working. Key communication is going to come out this semester start, especially if you're a student who's going to be on campus for a lab. So take a little bit more time. Make sure your passwords are good and clean. Make sure you have your access to your email and Beachboard. And if you don't, we're always here to help. You can reach the technology help desk again by either calling, emailing, or opening a help desk ticket. So that's the first thing. Just make sure you have all of your technical resources mapped out and working. If you're a student who's coming to campus, there will be new procedures this year. With COVID-19, we're going to have new processes that will be announced that must be done daily before you come in, a pre-screen, if you will. So it's vital that email works and you see those communications, so you don't show up the first day and you're kind of lost, because some buildings are closed, others are open, and there's certain expectations of you. So make sure everything is in order, well in advance, not the night before. Try it a week or two prior, just to make sure you're prepared.
That's right. And I think one of those things is going to be very much used on mobile phones and cell phones and so on, which is that pre-screen that you were talking about, just to check that everyone is healthy and well. And when it comes to faculty or others working together in a classroom, for those of us who are on campus, there'll be ways of showing that we're healthy or not.
Exactly.
So, yeah, so it's very important. I absolutely underline what you say. Check that everything's working. Start now before the rush begins, and you'll be well set up for all the technology. So that's terrific. So is there anything new other than COVID-19 related, or new email? Is there sort of something new, big and exciting that's happened in technology?
Well, much of the emphasis and energy has been providing the new outdoor Wi-Fi and looking at enhancements there. We also implemented a chatbot on our help desk page, and there's a few other chatbots on campus too, like in parking. So we're doing our best to provide answers to questions, and those are some of the new avenues we're going for. And then again, with the implementation of Teams, students now have the ability to chat with faculty. And so something I have on my email signature is, click this link to chat with me. So there's a lot of more virtual options to maintain those communications with the support groups and IT on campus and faculty and other students.
That's
So
wonderful. So what I hear you saying is that if I'm a student, I can actually chat with another student using Teams, say,
yes,
if I'm working in a group or just want to find out what did the instructor say, you can use Teams to chat with other students and with faculty. That's amazing.
absolutely.
Yeah, that's great. Well, I guess let's join in welcoming the new students and welcoming back the continuing students and saying how excited we are to see you, and to thank Bryon Jackson for taking time out of his, what I know is an incredibly busy day, to tell us all about these great new things. So thanks for joining us, Bryon, and go Beach.
Thank you.